All right, here we are again. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles, this time to talk about the tops and bottoms of the year 1982, the best and worst from that era. Wow. And there was a lot of in between, that's for sure. A lot of mediocre, just kind of,
Mhm, mhm.
I'm not sure there was a lot of really good tops or really good well, there's a couple of, I guess, on either direction. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm here along with Mike from Hub Tunes, Richard from Calvin Wazoo, Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, and I'm Robert Fithen, the only one that is not currently or planning to live in Chicago.
That
Oh, there's a move in the future
that's a
for
fact.
someone.
Mhm.
We'll start with Mike, since he looks the most yacht rockish.
Okay.
What?
19.
He's got that nice easy beat that they had in
Yes, that's
82.
me. Easy beats. 1982. I started going through the list, I was like, wow, wow, wow. It was fun. I actually had a blast. Like, no, because it brought back so many memories. I was a sophomore in high school, and that was I was probably a freshman. I was going into my and it just brought back so many memories, so many records that just. First of all, I thought I had more. Yeah, I made a list of like 30, 40 records. I was like, well, I'm not pulling that many records. So I started pulling stuff, and then I realized I don't have this record. Like my two favorite metal albums from 1982, I don't own. That's Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest and Blackout by Scorpions. I love those two records. I don't own them. I know I used to have them at one point. I think they just disappeared I love that record, man. When that came out, I just absolutely, I love the cover. It's just everything about that record. I played that so loud. My mom probably still can hear it ringing in her ears. But two metal albums, I don't know where they are. I know where they are, but I won't call out his name. So I pulled about 25 tops. I actually did my homework this week, and I do have some bottoms. So Mark is not going to spank me this week.
Uh, you'd like that.
Yeah.
So this is a band called Translator. I didn't discover them till later. They're a San Francisco new wave kind of punk band. This is their first album, I believe, and I think they had one more, and then they were done. This is a really good new wave record. It's excellent. I highly recommend it if you see it. This is a $5 record. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's probably pretty rare, and you never know these days. Oh shit, where am I going to put all this? Okay, my favorite '80s band, maybe second favorite, is Talk Talk. The Party's Over. Love this record. I love this artwork. This is a wonderful record. This is when they were still kind of poppy. They didn't go off until, into their artsy stuff until later. All their records are great. I love those final three records. I love their early stuff. Great record. This is Gang of Four. Their album, Songs of the Free. Cool band. They still tour. I don't understand why they still tour because half the band is dead. But
Need the money.
Yeah.
Money. This is a really cool record. I like Entertainment better, but this was, I think, a Record Store Day release, and I want to say
Entertainment's great.
Yeah, cool vinyl. Entertainment's their best by far.
fancy.
I'm
This is
always
right
wanting
there.
to get some Gang of Four, but I just never know which one to start with. But I guess
Entertainment or this, I would go with. Yeah, definitely. A record we just talked about a couple of weeks ago. Most underrated Tom Petty record that he ever made. This is Long After Dark. I love this record. God. I mean, we just did a whole video on it, so I won't go
I
into it.
thought I had that record and I didn't.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. I just love his guitar, and just Mike Campbell's guitar sounds great. It's just I don't know. And it brings back memories. It just brings back so many memories. Here's another one. Probably, well, it's a new wave masterpiece, and that's Missing Persons, Spring Session M. It's a perfect record. It is absolute masterpiece. This and the Flock of Seagulls album that came out this year, the self-titled one. Perfect new wave. Absolutely perfect. Here's one I didn't realize I had. Men Without Hats.
And that's
Why the
a
hell do I have this record? I almost put it in my bottoms, and then I played it, and I was like, this isn't horrible. But it's
Side
not,
2's a lot
it's
better
not
than
good
side
either.
1.
It's fine. I don't know. I have no idea why this. I bet I hadn't listened to this in 25, 30 years. This is probably the copy I had. Why would I buy it twice? It's got to be my copy from high school, because I would never buy this album twice. Never. But Men Without Hats, Safety
I don't
Days.
know if I've actually ever heard that.
It's not bad. You know, it's kind of like, remember, what was it? Dexy's Midnight Runners? They had that stupid song, what was it?
Oh, that
Come on,
song was
Eileen.
awesome.
Come on,
Eileen.
Yeah, but that's a really good record. If you ever see that, grab it and play it. It's not a bad record. It's not bad. Joe Jackson.
Side 2 was a lot better than side 1 on that Men Without
Joe
Hats.
Jackson goes loungy. I still like this record. I like his earlier stuff, you know, the angry young man kind of stuff. But this is not bad. I like Stepping Out. No, Breaking Us in Two is kind of but Cancer is a great song. This is not bad either. I played this. I played a bunch of these this week. Band we've talked about this. I think we talked about this record, and this is Midnight Oils. I want 10-9-8-7-6-5.
10-9-8-6-5-4-3-2-1.
Thank you. Great record. I love this. I love early
It's
Midnight.
great.
I did not know this record when it came out. You know, obviously, us in America, but everybody in Australia had this record. People in the UK loved it. It's a really good punkish record. This album almost made my bottoms because it's not good. But it's got a really good song on it, so I kept it in, and that's Supertramp. What is this one called? Famous Last Words. This is the one with It's Raining Again. Oh, God, what an awful song. But it's got the song Crazy on it, which I really dig. I love that song. It's a great song. One of the worst bands I ever saw live. They were so boring. So boring. But, yeah, not a good record by them. I always show this record whenever I talk. I don't know. I show this record a lot because this band played my high school in 1982, and I bought this record at the table. They had cassettes and they had records, and this is a band called The Kind. They made one other record and completely disappeared. I don't know whatever happened to them. It's power pop. It is. It's enjoyable. I played it. It just again. Brought back so many memories of like standing in I think it was actually my junior high gym that they played, and just I don't know, just good memories, I guess. And I always loved the cover artwork. I don't know why.
I wonder if that's worth anything. I've never even seen that before.
It's probably not. They were on 360 Records, and there is one other record. I don't know whatever happened to them. Didn't take off. I think they were a Chicago band. Somebody once told me they were from Palatine, Illinois, which is famous for Brown's Chicken massacres and stuff. An album that we talked about recently, Yazoo, Upstairs at Eric's. This reminds me of driving around and my friend Elisa's. She had a white Fiero. Remember Fieros? They were kind of like they were like a
Me and my
smaller
Fiero.
Yeah, they were like a smaller, deadlier version of like a Firebird. And we used to play this all the time in that car, just driving around with the T-tops and just, again,
It was one of the first albums we all reviewed.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like the first, who picked that? Was that Craig?
That was.
It was an early one for sure.
It was really early on.
No, Shane picked it. Shane
That's
picked
right,
it. It
yeah,
was one of
Shane
the
picked
ones drawn out of a hat.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
of course Shane picked it.
This is an overlooked Elvis Costello record. This is Elvis Costello and the Attractions' Imperial Bedroom. I think some of his 80s stuff does get overlooked. This is a good one. This is a really good one. I like, actually, I don't think there's an Elvis Costello record I don't like. But this one's definitely probably the best of his 80s stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, now we're getting down to the final, and these are all in kind of an order. I don't usually do orders, but I'm doing kind of. This is my favorite. This is the middle record of King Crimson's Three of a Perfect Pair. The first one was Discipline. This is Beat, and then the third one is third. I think it's called Three of a Perfect
Three of
Pair.
a perfect pair. Yeah.
That one's not good. I don't like that one. But Discipline and Beat. This one's great. The
Adrian Belew era.
Adrian Belew's guitar work on Discipline and this are phenomenal. Yeah, this is a really good record. They're actually touring
Right.
right
Me
now.
and Tony
Putting
Levin.
3 records, or highlights of the 3 records.
Yeah.
I considered going, but I don't know. It was over $100, so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but Adrian Belew was great. When Richard and I saw Adrian Belew he did that Talking Heads thing like last year.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
great. He was still a great guitarist, good singer. He sounded really good. This album, this is the follow-up to their masterpiece, Moving Pictures. I remember when this came out, and we all went, huh? Nobody really cared for this record when it came out. I played it the other day. It's really good. It's got Subdivisions on it. The single was New World Man, which kind of sucks still. But Subdivisions isn't on here. There's a bunch of really good songs. I kind of dig it, actually. I'm surprised that looking back, I just remember when it arrived in record stores, we all ran out and bought it because we all had Moving Pictures. And we ran out and bought this. And I think all my friends were just kind of like, it's all right. And then the next album came and we did the same thing. But yeah, it's pretty good. I think it holds up. My favorite solo Pete Townsend record, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. I love this cover. I just love this record. Slit Skirts, The Sea Refuses No River is on here. This is a really, really good solo Pete Townsend record. Really dig it. I'm out of breath. Can I take a drink? Okay, a couple more left. If this isn't my favorite band of the 80s, it's my second favorite, like Talk Talk. Psychedelic Furs finally break through, and this was a massive year for Psychedelic Furs. This album was huge. It is chock full of hits. And right at the same time, the movie Pretty in Pink came out. And that obviously just catapulted them. Great record. Maybe my favorite, I don't know. I still love the debut, which I just picked up a new copy of the debut because mine was really beat up. So I picked up a new reissue of it. But yeah, Psychedelic Furs forever now. It's really what put them on the charts. My second favorite band of all time, The Clash, Combat Rock. I think this album gets overlooked. It gets really overlooked because, first of all, it's very short. Second of all, it has their 2 biggest hits ever on it, and people are tired of those. But the deep tracks on here are excellent. Adam Tan and what was the You Know Your Rights, Car Jammin', Straight to Hell. I used to play that a lot. My mother did not appreciate it. This is a really good record, really, and their final record. If you ask me, this is their last record. I mean, there were no.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, the stuff that came later is awful. So these are probably my 2 favorite records of 1982, and this is one of my favorite albums of all time. I believe we did a record review of this also, and that's Peter Gabriel's Security. It's just a masterpiece, an absolute masterpiece. It's my favorite Peter Gabriel record. I love everything about it, the bass, the drumming, his vocals. It's just perfect, absolutely perfect. And this one brings back so many memories. All of these bring back memories. I mean, I saw Peter Gabriel on that tour. A lot of concert memories are going to come up, and especially in my bottoms too. This is still my favorite Robert Plant solo record, and that's Pictures at 11. I love this record. I don't think he ever made a better solo record. I dig his later stuff with the Soul Searchers and stuff like that, but it's a totally different vibe. But this is really interesting. It's cool. Robbie Blunt is on guitar on here. I think he was only on the first 3 records. He's a really, really good guitarist, very overlooked. You had Phil Collins on drums, but when Phil Collins keeps his mouth shut and just plays the drums, he's incredible. I think Cozy Powell actually plays some drums on here too. Excellent record. He didn't tour with this one. This is the first record after leaving Zeppelin. He did not tour this, but the next record he did tour, and he played all of this, and it was absolutely incredible. Oddly enough, the best song that came out of these sessions is a song called Far Post, and it is only on a 12-inch, just like a 12-inch single with like 2 other songs, and it's the best song out of the entire. How it did not make the record, it just blows me away. If it had made the record, it would have been an absolute masterpiece. Far Post is the best Robert Plant solo song. It's just incredible. And those are my tops from 1982.
Wow. That's quite a bit. I mean, I guess it's my turn for my tops of 1982. And when I was looking through, I did not get the sense of nostalgia because in 1982, I was all into the Beatles. I was obsessed with the Beatles.
I was
It
too.
was all the Beatles, and that's all I wanted to listen to. So I was not yet hip on current pop music. That wouldn't happen until 83 when I decided to stop listening to stuff from the past and get current and videos and all that kind of stuff. And so 82 is kind of a weird transitional year. It's kind of like you're coming out. It's a lot of light rock, first of all. It's a lot of like Toto and Air Supply. It's probably one of the biggest bands out. You know, so it's that kind of thing. Christopher Cross and all that kind of stuff. But I did manage to find some tops. Mike already mentioned Tom Petty, Long After Dark. I think Peter Gabriel, Security was on my list. Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, my second favorite Judas Priest album.
Great.
What else did he mention? There was something else. Oh, Scorpions, Blackout. But I have to show that because that's probably my favorite album cover of 1982. Scorpions always have great album covers with the exception of one. So yeah, that Blackout. But yeah, Sammy Hagar, Three Lock Box. How could you not mention that? Money talks, suckers walk, but it can't touch my 3-lock box. This has Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy on it. Yeah. If you've got a red car in 1982, you're playing Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy if you're in this area. Let's see, the Misfits had some punk rock coming out in 1982. Walk Among Us is what the Misfits sound like when they have professional recording equipment. It's got a much beefier, fuller sound than their earlier stuff, which is just like completely raw and, cheap recording equipment, just kind of blasted out. This is actually a lot more of a professional sound done on Ruby Records. It's probably one of the only like official real Misfits albums with Glenn Danzig. Everything else is kind of like sessions just thrown together and later released as an album type of thing. Yeah. How could you skip the masterpiece, Billy Joel, The Nylon Curtain?
That has Pressure on it, right?
This has Pressure on it. This has Allentown. What's the other good one on
Who's
here?
Who's saying I skipped it? It might be coming up later.
Surprises is on here. A Room of Our Own.
Allentown was non-stop on the radio. Oh my
really?
God, I remember that. Jesus.
I don't remember it being non-stop.
On MTV, too.
I loved it. We didn't have MTV at the time, but video has male nudity in it, apparently.
Yeah.
But it happened in a time when my father was being laid off as a steel worker. Granite City was a steel town. With 3 different steel mills operating at one point. And his was the last one, and he was laid off, and it changed the whole dynamic of the family. You know, my father was no longer working, and we went from being kind of poor to really poor. And I was living what was going on, and I'd never heard somebody sing so specifically. I mean, he could have changed Allentown to Granite City, and it would have been the perfect story of my 1982 experience as far as the family dynamic. But it was wild to hear all that come out in a song. And the lyrics to that are just, I mean, I think it's a really well-written song. I don't know about it being overplayed or being some musical masterpiece, but the lyrics of that are really, I mean, if you grew up with that, they're really hit home. Kate Bush, The Dreaming. I was way, way late on Kate Bush. I didn't hear any Kate Bush until like about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
With the exception of the Red Shoes. I heard that back in the 90s, and I'm like, this is Kate Bush? Okay. Don't need that in my life.
I've never really listened to it.
That album.
And, I knew
That's a
Don't
great
Give Up.
Another one, too, is awesome.
Don't give up. The Red Shoes is awesome?
No, the one right before that. It's right before it, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I don't know. The Red Shoes is later. It's like the 90s. But the I knew Don't Give Up, what she did with Peter Gabriel in 86. That's all I knew about Kate Bush. And Cloud Busting used to be a video that would come on where I really didn't get into that. But I heard this and was like, wow, that's why everybody loves Kate Bush. This album is fantastic all the way through. Is it this? I have this little thing just laying here by coincidence. This was inside of an album. It's the cassette paper for the kick inside.
That's their first one. I think that's like 79 or 8 or something.
Like 7.
It was just inside of an album, and I just left it there. And Duran Duran with Rio, too. This is an album that has like 3 different versions in the U.S., depending on which one you get. They all were released within a few months of each other, but there's different mixes and different versions of songs. And I'm not sure there's really a way to tell from the outside which one you have. I know Hungry Like the Wolf definitely is different. There's what's called the night version on some of them that's much, much longer with a lot of music in the beginning. There's different mixes of like Save a Prayer and whatever. And you can basically tell by looking at the record how long the song is or with the run out codes or whatever. But Duran Duran Rio, a very coveted record because it's apparently not been reissued. So
Why would they do that? Release 3 different mixes in the same year?
Well, they mixed it, and then they didn't like. They thought that they could make it sell better and use use a different. They started out with the UK mixes, and they wanted to basically Americanize it for the American audience. So they brought in a remixer and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's happened before, but that album's never been reissued though. So it's actually a pretty coveted album. It's like a $35 record now. Speaking of U.S. versions, Culture Club and Kissing to Be Clever. This is the U.S. version of that, which I think is much superior than the original English one. I mean, the English one doesn't even have time on it, I don't think. Clock of the Heart. And I think it's better to start the album with Do You Really Want to Hurt Me than end it with Do You Really Want to Hurt Me. And I like the purple. Anyway, Church of the Poison Mind's also on here. But, man, Boy George, 1982. I mean, it's more of it's 82, because 83 was more like Karma Chameleon, but him coming onto the scene in 1982, what a controversy. Oh my God, clutching my pearls.
And then the album is huge.
Yeah, and then the next one was even bigger.
It was even bigger, yeah.
From England also, Iron Maiden and Number of the Beast, 666. This is not only my favorite Iron Maiden album, this is one of the only ones I actually like.
Mine too. It's my favorite.
I'm not a big Iron Maiden person. I like this one
Not
and
me
the
neither.
first 2 with the other singer.
Yeah.
I think Paul DiMano.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Iron Maiden person. I'm not into like Power Slave and the later, Peace of Mind and all those. I'm not really a big fan of those. What do we have here? Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And Thriller.
I've heard of that.
I believe this is late. It's like November maybe. So it's really more of an 83 thing, but it did come out in 1982. There he is with the kitty cat. But yeah.
Yeah, November 30th it was released.
Hip now to say that Off the Wall is a better album. Of course it's not, but the cool kids say it is. But Thriller. Thriller and Off the Wall are opposites. Because Off the Wall
different.
starts out with bang. I mean, don't stop till you get enough. Wow. And then followed up with Rock With You. Wow. I mean, 2 completely different types of songs, but 2 just home runs. And then the album starts to go boo, 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 boo. And then you got kind of weak tracks like Girlfriend and stuff. And then the creepy ass She's Out of My Life. And,
Oh, She's Out of My Life is terrible. But
yeah,
I just think of Eddie
saying.
Murphy every time I hear that.
So you got this album that starts with a blast and then just kind of tapers. Thriller is the exact opposite when you think of it. I mean, it starts with Wanna Be Certain Something. I always thought that song was okay. It's all right.
Oh, I love that song.
Oh my God. Billie Jean
I'm
is
a
actually
vegetable.
mentioned in that song if you listen closely. Billie Jean is always talking when somebody else is talking. Anyway, Baby Be Mine is next. One of the only songs on here that's not a single. It's just kind of a throwaway track. And then you get a song that we'll talk about later, or at least I will. Won't even mention that name. So 3 kind of a meh track followed by 2 a forgettable track followed by a horrendous track. That's how Thriller starts. And then you get what I'd like to call the beginning of the album for me is the song Thriller. That's where it just skyrockets. And then you get Beat It, which is like bam, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT's all right, and then a kind of a ballad, The Lady of My Life. But man, those 5 songs in a row, I mean, so it's like the opposite. It has this slow kind of build up, whereas Off the Wall is the opposite. Speaking of stuff that's going to be bottoms, I'm going to make a prediction that this is going to be on somebody's bottoms list. But I actually listened to this album. It's not that bad. It's okay. It's not terrible. In fact, it's probably my favorite album by this person. It's better than the one that other people say is his better one. And that is Phil Collins. Hello, I must be going. I mean, I actually kind of I've always really liked the song I Don't Care Anymore. I like that better than In the Air Tonight. And it's basically the same song, except for different lyrics. And it doesn't have the big drum thing. But yeah, I mean, he's got he goes through an array of emotions on here. He's got a cute little Cogni song on here. I don't remember which one it was. That's kind of silly. But it's a decent album. It doesn't have a remake of Tomorrow Never Knows on it. So already it's better than Face Value. You Can't Hurry Love is okay. I don't think it's all right. It started off the K-Tel compilation Summer Fun Volume 1, so I'll always have a soft spot for You Can't Hurry Love. But I did not think this was that bad at all. This was pretty good. I'd give this 3.5, 4 stars. But it's nothing compared to my favorite album of 1982, which is Prince 1999. Yeah. It's not going to get any better than this. When I first started listening to current music, got this, heard Little Red Corvette and Delirious, got this tape, and just played it over and over and over again. And are we sure that's a 1?
I don't know. Craig, is that a 1? That's a weird looking.
Looks like a mushroom.
Maybe it's a lampshade.
It's a lampshade.
Oh.
But the cassette's actually in a different running order than the album.
Oh, really?
And another fun fact, when this was first released on CD, it would have made a double CD because CDs could only be 72 minutes, I think, or 74 minutes at the time. And so they left off the song Automatic on the first CD issues of that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember that.
Oh,
And that's
it doesn't get better. I've already done a video on how you can have sex to this. If you change around the sides,
I remember that.
It's a great sex album. If you want to start off with romance, you go to Pound Town right about here. With these songs, you really start. You know how people are with sex, right? You start off. Oh man.
I've heard about it.
Okay.
Oh, Robert.
I don't know. I'm a virgin.
And those are my favorites of 1982.
Oh my goodness.
1999. Not to be confused with 1982 from Randy Travis, which came out in 1986. Anyway.
Okay.
So
is Craig last this time? It's me now?
It's Craig.
No, it's me.
With his singles.
Why are you trying to take my turn? No, just kidding. Okay, I have 4 honorable mentions and a top 15. So, my first, because I feel like I have to mention them, the really big song was The Following Year. This single, I don't think anybody knows this song, but Hazy Fantasy with John Wayne is Big Leggy. I freaking love Hazy Fantasy. This is Battle Hymns for Children Singing.
What the hell?
Shiny Shiny was the big song the following year. You know Hazy Fantasy, right?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Shiny, shiny, right down behind me. Shiny, shiny, shiny. That was 83 though, so I can't really sing it in 1982. But their first single was John Wayne is Big Leggy. They only had the one album.
Oh.
What?
They only had that one.
Anyway,
what a crime.
It's so good though. It is so. I love Hazy Fantasy. I don't have anything visual for this one, but Musical Youth, Pastidachi on the left-hand side. I
You're
just have
adorable, Craig.
I used to have that album.
What?
I love that song, and I have
I
fond
bet
memories of it.
Robert has it.
I used to have that album, and I saw it in the store once and almost bought it again.
And then they were like 10 or something, like little kids singing that song. But
Well,
it
I
was
think they
groovy.
were like 10 all the way up to 18. I mean, it was a pretty
I
wide
don't know.
age.
I hate children that sing.
Yeah, me too.
I
I got
would-
this for like $1 and listened to it, and I'm like, wow, that was $1 well spent. I'd like my $1 back now. I can't. I don't.
Oh, well, I
like
don't know that I would
kids.
want the album, but like I like the song past. But I have good memories of hearing that with friends, so that's probably why. So much of what I
Nostalgia.
love is it's nostalgia. Yes. So my next honorable mention, Peter Gabriel. I Have the Touch. I
Yeah.
love that song. And the last one, and I have the better cover, the original cover, but yes, Billy Idol with Hot in the City. Look at that beautiful tied little shirt
That is-
there. I don't remember what the cover looked like later, but this is the original.
And he comes
cover.
out of one of the great punk bands of all time, and his solo
Oh,
album
I think
has that cover on it.
well, I think Kristen has it, so we'll show you why.
Is that the
thought-
original, or is that
Mine is the original.
yours? Is the original? That's
Yeah,
all.
this is what they changed a song on here too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
They took off a song called Congo, and put on. Is it Dancing with Myself? Maybe. Is that not on yours?
Maybe
Congo Man is what closes mine out.
Okay, so it's Dancing with Myself that they
Is
put on.
not on. That is not on.
Dancing with Myself was originally on an EP.
It's originally a Generation X song with a lot.
That's
Yeah,
what I was going to
It's just
say.
a different,
Isn't
it's just a
it?
different mix,
Just-
basically.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same recording.
Yeah. But I always love that I have this version of it though, because it's so. I'm sorry, it's so gay. Look at gay with his little
Yeah,
shirt
that does
tied in
scream
a
gay.
knot and his little belly button pointing out there. It's like, oh, okay, go ahead. Number 15, no visual. Juice Newton with "Love's Been a Little Bit Hard on Me."
Yes,
And
She said,
I-
hard on.
That video though, it's so tragic. She is getting in the wheelchair
Yes.
and then she's going down.
Yeah,
the hill.
yeah.
All these terrible.
Her
love
husband
really,
keeps hurting
truly-
her, basically.
Yeah,
It's really
love
funny.
Truly has been hard on poor Juice Newton.
Cheers.
Number 14 is still their best album and one of my favorite songs of theirs, "Tears for Fears" with Pell Shelter.
Was that 82? Wow. I missed
83,
it.
but Pell Shelter came out
Oh,
as a
the song,
single in
yeah.
82.
That's their best album. I love that.
It
album.
really is.
It's so damn good, and it's dark, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. Pell Shelter. Me. 13. Missing Persons with "What Are Words For When No One's Listening." And then doesn't she say, "I'm gonna dye my hair blue" or something like that? Is that from that one? I get confused.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll dye my
Might
hair
as well be
blue.
talking to a woman.
Oh,
I love the
see.
guitar thing in that with the the plucking of the electric guitar.
Mhm.
Everything about
Vinny
it.
Colaiuta, I think, isn't it? Or
I think
No.
you're right.
Number 12 would be "Wishing I Had a Photograph of You."
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, this is. I actually like this. Think I like this album better than the one with Iran on it. But this is good. And wishing. Oh my goodness, "Wishing I Had a
Right.
Photograph of You." That song is brilliant. Number 11 would be The Clash with "Straight to Hell."
Straight to hell, boy.
Oh, good. And yeah.
There's a really good version of that song on the Clash on Broadway CD box set. That's like a different mix. I'm not
yeah,
sure where
yeah.
it came
I
from,
have that.
Oh.
That is, yeah.
but that's a really good version of that on there. It's a
I
little
don't know that
more,
I've
I
heard
guess,
that.
immediate sounding.
It was redone for some like tribute something
Yeah.
charity thing, and it was Mick and with Lily Allen, and they did a new version of it, and that one is fantastic. But the original is the best. I'll have to check out that other version you're talking about, but I love the one that he did with Lily Allen. Number 10. I don't have the album, but I have a greatest hit, so that's okay. The Stranglers with Golden Brown. Oh, so good.
That's a great comp too.
This is really, really,
And
really good.
if anyone's looking to get into the Stranglers, just buy that.
This is a good way to good
yeah,
place to start.
really
but
good.
There's still a few of their albums that I want. Let's see. Number 9, Yazoo with Don't Go. Bum, 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 bum. And that has been sampled, and I don't know how many millions of times. Let's see. I don't have a visual of this, but the song just always makes me happy. And at number 8 would be the Daz Band with Let It Whip. Right? Let it whip.
All night.
Let it whip,
Yeah, let it whip. Mm-hmm.
We
as
are
opposed
here
to whip it.
have big
Yeah.
fun, so let it whip. Whip it all night.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's so good. Let's see. Number 7 would be ABC with The Look of Love.
The look.
You got the look.
That's
The
a good
look
record.
of
That
love.
record is really good too.
So good.
There's some good stuff.
There's the Daz Band.
Poison Era. I mean, yeah, no, this is all beautiful. What is that?
The
It's
Daz
the
Band.
Daz Band.
Oh, you have it. Let it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Let
my
It Whip's the
God.
first song.
Oh my goodness, I love this so much. Did they have an album? And I think this is another one of those that the actual people on the cover aren't the ones who actually sing it, but I could be wrong. Total Colio, I don't know how you say that part, but with I Eat Cannibals. It's incredible. Bring out the
Oh my God, I
animal.
remember that song.
I Eat Cannibal. And look, they've got their like little.
Is that your record that you bought when it came out, or did you like
no,
buy a reissue like in the
no,
2000s?
and this is just the 12 for
okay.
for I Eat Cannibals. I don't have.
Yeah, I had that on one of those
album.
like '80s compilation.
Comps,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they're
Remember
wearing
what it
their
was.
outfits. They're wearing trash bags. Their shoes. Their little and they got
A lot
lots
of people
fun
did
little
that in 1982.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger did it
love-
in 1978.
Well,
Right.
go ahead.
He was
Go
so far
ahead.
ahead.
Yes.
It really was groundbreaking.
Let's see. Number 5 would be Haircut 100 with Love
Yeah.
Plus.
Rain.
I forgot about that song.
Here we go. I love it so much. And this is a really great album too. Number 4 would be Prince with Do
Yeah.
Me Baby. Do Me on. I love that song so freaking. It's just Do Me
So
Baby.
wet.
God, he was
What
on
kind of man says I'm so wet? I'm
French.
so wet. You've heard
Me.
the long version that's
Um,
on the album Controversy, right? Where he just goes into this whole like it's like really, dude, come on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so cold.
Controversy.
Hold
Yeah,
me.
it's very long. Well, maybe he needs a blanket. Number 3, I do not have a visual of as well, but Sisters of Mercy with Alice.
Oh yes, was that
Sisters of
82?
Mercy. That was 82.
Oh, I could have pulled that. Yeah.
And number 2, The Cure with the Hanging Garden.
Wearing furs and masks. Up, into the jump, jump out of time. I almost mentioned that album, but I don't have the. only have
I
the
knew
CD.
Craig would, so I was like, no, I'll just leave it on.
Yeah, leave it.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's a bleak
And
album.
then
It is.
number 1 for me that came out, and I actually had the 45. I should have grabbed the 45, but that's okay because it's one of the only original like I've had this 45 since it came out, and I don't know, I didn't grab it, but I have the album and I have a cover for the album now. So Pretenders with Back on the Chain Gang. So that is number one for me for 1982. And I'm back on the chin.
That single came out so early, and everybody was just waiting for the album to come out because
Right.
half the band died, and
Yeah.
the album just kept getting delayed and delayed. Probably like end of '83 that thing came out, but the single came out real early.
Yeah, it was early 82, I believe.
They played Albuquerque while I was living up in the mountains of New Mexico, but I wasn't able to go to that show. But another person I was working with went, and he said it was a fantastic show.
That was the first Pretender song I ever heard. I just fell in love with that band.
That's great.
Yeah, I think that might be the first song I heard by them as well. So
yeah. Well, all right. Yeah, there were some interesting news items in 1982. This was the year in January 20th when Ozzy did the infamous bite the head off a bat routine at a show in Des Moines. Apparently, he thought it was a rubber bat that someone threw on the stage at him. So when he took a bite, he was a bit surprised, I guess, that it was a real one.
That would be surprising.
Yeah. So on January 21st, B.B. King donated his personal record collection, which had roughly 7,000 very rare blues records. And he donated them to the University of Mississippi's Center for the Study of Southern Culture. So that would be, I guess a reason to go to the University of Mississippi, and check out, see, if that's something that can be actually seen, or is it just something that they keep in, like a library or something. On March 4th, Dweezil and Moon Unit Zappa formed the band Fred Zeppelin.
For God's sakes, why?
Do they have any releases?
I don't think so.
Not.
I remember hearing about them.
Yeah, I remember hearing about them too.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was.
1982 is a big year in the Zappa family.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're gonna, and I left it up to you because I was gonna pull it, but I didn't.
Well, I didn't pull that record because I pulled a different record. Because I think the other record is a lot better. May 23rd was when Pink Floyd's the film Pink Floyd's The Wall premiered at Cannes. And then, August 18th in Liverpool, they named 4 streets after the Beatles. And then in September, I remember this because, all right, so September 3rd through 5th was the first US Festival. And the Police played at the US Festival. And they came right after the day or so after their performance there. They played in Tucson, and so I saw them in Tucson at that time, pretty much doing the Ghost in the Machine tour primarily. Fantastic show. It was such an incredible show.
And if you want to see an entire breakdown and commentary on the 1982 US Festival, you can check out the video on my channel.
Always plugging.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not getting the visuals anymore. The first CDs were sold in stores in Japan on October 1st. And then November 30th, and Robert mentioned that's when MJ's Thriller was released. So, yeah, it was very late in the year. So I've got some honorable mentions. Some of them have been mentioned. Some of my top 10s have been mentioned too. But I'm going to start off with The Cure Pornography as one of my honorable mentions. It's a good album, but when we did our Cure ranking, it wasn't my favorite.
It's very dark.
This band, the Dregs, and I remember listening to them when they were the Dixie Dregs. That's when I first heard them on FM radio. I was in high school listening on headphones at night. And this, as the Dregs, this is industry standard, which is a really great, solid release of theirs. I've always enjoyed that sort of, it's jazz fusion, but it's also kind of a southern rock kind of, it's just good all the way around. Sarah Vaughan, Crazy and Mixed Up was released in 1982. I can't remember if this is the first album in which she's the sole producer or one of the early albums that she started taking over production. Really, really good album on the. I think this is a repress on the Pablo Today label. I can't remember which one it is. Mike mentioned I think it was you, Mike, right? Psychedelic Furs. Forever Now. This one is actually, you can find this one, if you see it, it's going to be pretty cheap. This is Jaluka, and the album is Scatterlings. This is Johnny Clegg, South African musical artist who really sent shockwaves in South Africa because he was a white guy fronting a band with black members. And the first time I heard this was in the 80s, and it was on cassette. And then I, lost the cassette. Fantastic album. And then I saw it in a store one day and was able, really great condition for like $4. Adrian Belew, his solo album, one of his early ones, The Lone Rhino.
That's a great record.
I believe this is the record, too, that includes a song that his daughter wrote when she was 4 years old. It closes out the album.
I need to redo my bottoms.
The Mission of Burma, their album Verses.
That's 82?
Yes. And,
wow, I thought that was a lot later.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they put this album out and then they didn't do anything for like 10 years.
Oh, really?
And then they started making albums again. There were a couple
cool record.
color vinyl variants but they sounded really awful. And they were like really expensive for how badly they sound. Now, this is a soundtrack, but this film, Starstruck, this was pitched as the Australian Help. This was a musical film that was kind of crazy like the Beatles' Help. It's, on all the new wave music of the time. Got a lot of the music is all original with the bands, players like the Swingers and Joe Kennedy. Just a really fun movie. Remember watching it in the theaters a bunch of times. I have it on DVD. It's a really great soundtrack and a really great movie. Missing Persons was mentioned, of course. And then this one too, Lou Reed's The Blue Mask.
What?
This is a later reissue, the remaster, but I ended up, and this wasn't in my list originally because I had the Tom Petty, but then I realized I don't have Tom Petty, so I had to pull it out, and then I pulled this one back in because there were a lot of releases I had to edit out of my list.
Didn't you pick that up when we were all together?
Yeah, this was one that, when we were doing the Lou Reed album rankings, then
Didn't you pick it up at that one record store when we did our record crawl?
Like the first one we went to, wasn't
the
it?
sticker is still yes, Rattleback Records.
Rattleback,
yeah. That's I like this album, Dire Straits, Love Over Gold. This is the MoFi release.
Industrial Disease is a great song.
Yes, this is I really like this
it's
album.
good.
No.
And then this was mentioned already. That would be, make sure I'm not getting into the other list yet, Elvis Costello and the Attractions with the Imperial Bedroom. That was mentioned. And this one was also mentioned, King Crimson's Beat, part of the trilogy with Adrian Belew. And then Sonic Youth debuts. with this record, which is kind of interesting because even though it sounds like they're doing alternative tunings, this one is they weren't, and they started doing the alternative tunings with their following releases. And then I got 2 copies of this one for my last honorable mention, and that's so this is the wrong one. Never mind. But so I only have 1 copy of this one, Bad Brains. So yeah, their debut, which of course was released, I think, long after it was actually recorded. I can't remember if it was Bad Brains. There's another band that could have been Pure Hell. Pure Hell might have been the one where the album wasn't released until many years after. So my top 10.
Oh shit! I thought
starting with.
No, yeah, we haven't even got to that yet.
Yeah, here we go. Captain Beefheart with Ice Cream for Crow. It's his last album, and it is a really, really good. It's probably my favorite Captain Beefheart album. I do like Shiny Beast also, but I think Ice Cream for Crow is my favorite. And this is an EP, but Chronic Town, REM,
yeah.
that was 1982 release. And for an EP, it's just, to me, a great record. Really, really good release. If they had maybe one more song on it, it probably could have been a full album.
Is that an original?
Yes.
Have they reissued that?
I don't know if they've reissued Chronic Town. I know they've reissued all the other first albums.
They have.
But and then of course X with Under the Big Black Sun.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just last year I saw them at a very small venue. What is it? The School of Music, Old Town School of Music here in Chicago. Really, really small, intimate theater, and they were just, man, did they rock it. They were so tight, and what a great set.
Dang, I saw them like 10 years ago, and they were old then, so I can only imagine what they like.
But man, they were still,
because John Doe and Exene, I mean, they were really energetic, and it was a great show, but I was just like, all right, are you guys stopping by the nursing home on the way out? But it was really good.
Resting in the lobby, with an IV, getting their vitamins back in. This was shown already, so this is my number 7, Screaming for Vengeance, Judas Priest. And at number 6, this is, I think, you probably were expecting me to show A Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch, which I had pulled, but I removed it because this is a far superior album.
Yes, it is.
Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, the box set. And it's just his guitar playing. They're just guitar solos. They're absolutely amazing. Probably my favorite ones on here are Ship Ahoy, and what's the other one? It's on the first record, Heavy Duty Judy. But yeah, the really great compilation of just guitar solos.
Right.
So if you have an issue with Frank Zappa's lyrics, but you really admire his guitar playing, that's the route to go, because they are really incredible solos. Then, of course, someone already showed the Security album, Peter Gabriel. That's my number 5. At number 4 is Call of the West.
Yeah.
Wall of Voodoo. I remember hearing this when it first came out, and I was like, okay, I like this. This is just weird enough that,
great.
And of course, they had a hit with Mexican Radio on here. Which was a really good song, but the rest of the album is just solid all the way through.
It's a good punk new wave record.
Yeah. So yeah, their debut album is one of the albums that are on my want list for Record Store Day. I already have an OG copy of it, but it's pretty worn out. I'd like to get a new one. The Fabulous Thunderbirds with T-Bird Rhythm. It's this great blues rockabilly with one of the with Jimmy Vaughn, and then of course Kim Wilson, doing vocals and playing harmonica. Kim Wilson went on. I saw him live as a solo act at a little small bar.
But I've seen Jimmy Vaughn a couple of times. Good, he was a good guitarist. He still is.
Yes, he's Stevie Ray was flamboyant. He was out there. He was just an incredible guitar player. Jimmy Vaughn was solid. He was steady. He knew he was kind of he just knew how to play the guitar and get out of the guitar what was needed for the song, like no other guitar player could do. There were Peter Green in some ways was very much like that as well. That he knew how to get the right sound out of the guitar. He didn't need to be like Eric Clapton. Then this is my number two, being the Beat, but of course, released in America, they had to be known as the English Beat, and Special Beat Service. This to me is the perfect springtime album. Every spring, especially when we start having those first 70, 75 degree days, and it's sunny outside. I just love this record. The video for Save It for Later, is a great song, but I love the closing song, Aki 1, 2, 3, because of the line in there. It doesn't have to be a nice day, just the only one you got, and it's coming, ready or not. Just really love that line.
Forgot about that.
And then, this is my number one, Midnight Oil, which has already been shown. I missed the show that they did when they came to Chicago, and they did this entire album. It was just down the street from me at the Vic, and I knew they were there, but then I thought they were sold out. But then I heard that if you showed up, they had tickets in the box office if you just happened to show up. And so I was really pissed about that. Then they came back one more time a couple years later, I think, didn't they? They played the Riviera.
I saw them like 2 years ago at the Riviera.
Yeah, I missed that show too. They just
released a new album, and it's okay. But man, they played all kinds of old shit, man. It was great.
I would have loved to have seen that.
The place was packed. It was unbearable.
In the 80s, Midnight Oil was my top band, my go-to band.
Yeah,
they were my favorite band by far.
They're done touring too. They
that was the end of their
they haven't ruled out making more music, but they're done touring.
Yeah, well, we're all getting up there. So
yes, we are.
Yeah. So there's my top 10, my tops.
All right. Well, those are the best of that's the best of 1982 and Dire Straits. And so now it's time for the bottoms of 1982 and the worst music released that year. Why? There's so much that could go. I mean, so much of 82 is just kind of
Man.
There's stuff that's actually really bad, and we're about to hear what Mike is bringing to the party with the bottoms of 1982.
I'm going to mention probably 3 of the biggest selling albums of 1982.
Yeah, well, that doesn't always mean they're great.
I'll probably get some comments. Which is fine. I don't give a shit. This album was huge in 1982. I loved it in 1982, and I played it getting ready for this video. It does not hold up. And it's a super group. And every one of the members of this band is awesome. The music is they're spot on with their instruments and everything. But man, Asia.
Oh God. I hate Asia.
Not good. Robert's gonna go, that's 1981.
No, I didn't think it was that bad. I listened to that 2 weeks ago, put it on at the record store, and a customer bought it right off the turntable. They loved it so much.
Really?
And it was
Wow.
everywhere. What?
Heat of the Moments on that, right?
Only
Yeah,
Time
Heat
Will
of the
yeah.
Tell,
Moments on there, Only
Dream,
Time Will Tell. Those two are great. And then the rest of the songs are pretty good, but they're not as good as those first
Soul
because they're
Survivor,
singles, you know.
I think was a big single. I don't know. It didn't hold up for me. But man, when this came out, this was on the turntable all the damn time.
Well, it's on the radio all the time too. Oh God!
And the video for that, whichever one has the baller that has the person in the tights. I think that's Only Time Will Tell.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That was the second single. I think Heat of the Moment was the first single. Only Time Will Tell
Mhm.
was the second. And then I think
so.
Wildest Dreams and yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, here comes one. I'm gonna get shit for this one. It's not my least favorite album by this band. Because I'd get a lot of shit if I told you what my least favorite album by this band is. But this would be my next, and it's Van Halen's Diver Down.
Oh, damn.
Pretty Woman, pretty good.
I always liked Intruder. You know,
I mean, Intruder.
I always played that on the when I was in rock radio. I always played Intruder first. I never would just go right into Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
before
Where Have All the Good Times Gone? That's horrible. They're dancing in the street. We've talked about that. No, I don't know. Little Guitars is fine.
No, I'm with you with that. Van Halen is.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have added like one more solid original song, it would have really brought that album up a little more.
Maybe if you put Panama on this record.
Yeah, something like that.
Then it would have been, a great record. But
just cover after cover.
I saw
after
them on
cover.
the tour, and they were terrific live. They were absolutely incredible. But man, it's a covers record, and that's not what people wanted after Unchained with the.
I think they were just too busy with touring and being superstars, and they just didn't have time. And I
think that's exactly what it is. The record company was like, "We need a record." And the single "Pretty Woman," I actually like that. I mean, it's good, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the record company was like, we need to get a new record out immediately, and this is what they came up with, and I don't know. This one, I can't believe no one mentioned this. This better be 1982. I'm sure it's 1982. I looked everything up, so I'm pretty sure it's 1982. Nobody mentioned this. Well, nobody's mentioned it yet, so maybe I'm.
Yeah, you're the first one with the bottoms.
Maybe I'm not the only one. This is basically just a bad Wings album, and this is Tug of War by Paul McCartney. It's a Wings record. It's a Wings record. I put this on. I'm listening to the title track, and I'm like, oh, this could be on, London.
Back to the Egg or something.
Or Back to the Egg.
Yeah.
Ballroom Dancing?
Ballroom Dancing's terrible.
Terrible.
I didn't mind Take It Away.
Take It Away is the song I really kind of liked on it. But that was the one where I was like, oh, this could be on Back to the Egg or London Town or,
Yeah.
Wanderlust is okay. Dress Me Up as a Robber. So, it's not good.
Okay.
I thought it was just kind of there. Yeah.
It's
not one of those ones where it's just kind of there, but then again, it's Paul McCartney, so you're expecting a little more.
Well,
he's getting cute. It's that cutesy shit, like Ballroom Dancing. Now it's like,
is it the best record he made in the 80s?
I liked Pipes of Peace, which I just heard for the first time in a long time last week. I really liked Pipes of Peace, but that's like you were saying before with Craig. It's more of a nostalgia thing. Because it was the first. I was so into the Beatles at that point, and he just put out that, and so it was kind of tied into the Beatles with me, and it has "Say Say Say" on it, which is a fun pop song, and But that other duet he does with Michael Jackson on there, "The Man" or whatever, that's terrible.
I remember.
It's got a cool instrumental on there called "Hey Hey." Pipes of Peace is okay. The song.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I would rather hear that than Tug of War.
Yeah, it's not good. So this is the early 1981, 82. I was starting to go to concerts. I went to 2 concerts with my father. I went to see the Rolling Stones with my father. Saw the Who with my father. He was basically my ride. He didn't want to be there. And I went to see the Rolling Stones in 1981. And in 1982, they released this horrible live album from that concert tour. This is a absolutely horrendous live record. It does not do justice. Also, not a good tour. This is 1981. The Rolling Stones are not. It just wasn't a good tour. They were sloppy. They were disjointed. The original band is all still there, but except for Brian Jones, obviously.
Which one is that titled?
This is Still Life.
Still Life. Okay.
Yeah, not good. There's a horrible.
Yeah, and the single was Going to a Go-Go.
Going to a
Go-Go.
Go-Go.
That's a trend that I'll talk about coming up. But yeah,
Bad.
the whole thing with I forgot what I was going to say.
And you know, and I was a kid. I was, you know, I was super excited. I mean, I was probably what, 14, 15 years old, and I'm seeing the Rolling Stones, and I was elated. But looking back on it all, and I've seen the Stones probably 20 times since, that was awful. And
A lot of people remember. I know what I was going to say. A lot of people remember that as the first corporate sponsored rock concert tour, and that really put a kind of a shadow over it too.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones brought to you by Jovan Musk.
Yeah, we had to.
Are being brought to you by a perfume or what? I mean, come on.
And to get tickets, and I'll talk about the next band, we had to do the same thing. To get tickets to go to the concert, you had to cut out a coupon that was in the back of the Sunday Tribune, and you had to fill it out, mail in your SAISI, your self-addressed stamped envelope with a money order, and hopefully you got entered into the lottery to get tickets. That's how we had to get tickets for this concert.
Wow.
So
It's a lottery. You're literally paying for a chance.
Yep.
You might spend money and get nothing. That's bullshit.
Because it was a money order. If you didn't get anything, they just threw away your money.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's how it worked. I don't know. I was 14 years old. And the same thing happened for this band, The Who. This was their last concert. This was the this was the bad album. It's Hard. And this tour, Keith Moon is gone, and now Kenny Jones is on drums. And no, nothing against Kenny Jones. He's a perfectly good drummer, but he's not Keith Moon. And this came out in 1982. Actually, I think this came out in 83, but the tour was, this was 83. This came out, but the tour was 82 when I saw them, and not good. But I was a kid, and I was seeing the Who, and it was incredible. But man, this is a bad live album. Do not buy this. This is terrible. They play all the hits, but not good. Not good at all. And this was their last tour, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the Rolling Stones was supposed to be some sort of farewell tour too, wasn't it?
I don't
if
think
I remember
so.
right.
I don't think so. But
We've had lots of those, though.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Both bands have.
So yeah, those are my bottoms. I mean,
Phil Collins. Hello, I must be go.
Yeah, because I could put it on there, but I knew you would have it in your top 10. So.
Oh right. That was not my top 10. My bottoms are all singles because I'm not listening to a whole album all the way through and being like, yeah, this is terrible. Let me keep on listening. So these are in no particular order. Bunkner and Garcia with Pac-Man Fever.
But it's so great.
It's like that whole phenomenon of that album or whatever. It seems like the kind of thing that would really be fun. Quirky and video game songs, and I think there's a Donkey Kong song on there, and a Centipede, and they're just weak. They're just terrible. They're just awful. So yeah, that's definitely a bottom. You've got the song I was going to mention when I was talking about Thriller. You've got Michael Jackson teaming up with Paul McCartney for "The Girl Is Mine." That was the first single off of Thriller.
Yeah.
People think it was Billie Jean. It wasn't. That was the first video. The first single was the girl. Michael, I told you we're not going to fight about it. I tell you, I'm never not a fighter.
Because
Oh, you keep dreaming, Paul.
probably demand.
The girl's mine. It'd be funny if somebody remade that and tried to sound like those two, and remade it as like the songs are mine, like the
McCartney
the rights are
probably
mine.
That'd be the first single. That was
Yeah.
probably the deal they made.
The rights are mine, mine, mine. I got your songs, Paul. So yeah, we got. Let's see, what else do we have? Island of Lost Souls from Blondie.
Oh, yeah.
A terrible singer or
Awful.
single from an awful album. I mean, I used to love Blondie so much. Eat to the Beat is just still one of my favorite albums of all time, and of course, Parallel Lines is an all-time classic. I'm not too keen on Auto American, but The Hunter is just rock bottom. And that Island of Lost Souls single, which I didn't even know what the single was when I got the CD way back in the late '80s. It's just right in there with the album. It's terrible. The Motels, who I love the song Shame, and Only the Lonely's great. Sunny Last Summer is just really moody. They had a stupid song though that's beneath them called Take the L. It's a single. Take the L out of Lover and it's over. It's like we're going to need a little better than that from the Motel. Take
They
the
were
L
so-
out.
Oh,
What's
that's
that?
clever.
They were a great band. I love
Yeah,
them.
I don't know what they were doing taking the L out of Lover and it's over. The whole album's horrible.
Being
It's one of the worst
clever.
albums I've ever heard. But the single for I guess is one of the better songs on a horrible album, which makes it still a horrible single. It's by Donald Fagen. It's called IGY, What a Beautiful World. At least they didn't release the cover of Ruby Tuesday as a single or Ruby Baby as a single. That's
Ruby Baby.
Yeah, that's wow. That's terrible. And then we get into all the covers. Horrible, great songs with these light rock 1982 covers. The disco band, which disco's over, A Taste of Honey doing I'll Try Something New. Barry Manilow doing the Four Seasons, Let's Hang On.
Oh
The Carpenters doing Beechwood 45789.
Yep.
I'd like to apologize for all white people right now with the Carpenters doing that song. That's ridiculous. Sammy Hagar, what are you doing? Piece of my heart? No, I can't drive 55. Your love is driving me crazy. Baby's on fire. I'll fall in love again. That's all. Have you met? Whatever. You don't do Janis Joplin songs, dude. We don't need that.
Was that on Three Lock Box?
I think it was on the album before. I don't remember. But he remade Otis Redding Sitting on the Dock of the Bay years early. We didn't need that either. The Manhattan Transfer coming through like they always do, ruining a song. They're doing Route 66. Yeah, let's make Route 66 as uncool as possible. That's a good idea. And then you had another trend where we're not just going to do a cover. We're going to mix a bunch of covers together and do a medley of hooks, like Stars on 45, number 3. The third one, a tribute to Stevie Wonder from the Stars on 45. You had the Hooked on Big Bands medley from the Barber Orchestra with the Glenn Miller medley. You had the Seasons of Gold, the Four Seasons medley. It's like, who? And so, all these become hits. So then we get the trend of, well, wait a minute. Why are we letting these other people redo these songs? Let's just cut up the songs ourselves and read it. The Beach Boys medley was the year before.
Yep.
This year we get the Beatles movie medley from the Beatles, but it's not really the Beatles that did it. It was Capitol or whoever editing their songs together to promote the compilation album Real Music. And then we get the Elvis medley. It's where the Beatles medley at least left the songs alone. The Elvis medley added like drum machines and newer kind of sounds to the songs when they edited them together in a nice little medley. And of course it was to promote a Big Air album, the Elvis medley, where they did the Elvis medley, and then when you get the album you get the full length versions of the song with the new mix or whatever. Anyway, terrible, just awful. I mean, there's so many bad songs. That's fine. If you're not talented enough to make a good song, great. You don't remake a song and ruin it. That's a whole other level of bad. So those are my bottoms of 1982.
I think I have that Beatles single.
Oh, I definitely do. I have both of
Yeah,
them.
I'm sure I do.
Because there's a
because I have
rare
riff
one.
music and it's in there. Yeah.
If you have the one that doesn't have "I'm Happy Just to Dance with You" as the B-side, that's the rare one. That's actually worth something. I think it's like the Fab Four Talk or Talk with the Fab Four or something like that. That's like actually a collectible. But yeah, that's I'm just gonna walk away. So bad.
No, isn't it
walk
amazing?
away,
Isn't it
Renee.
amazing how, like, on a giant wall of records, every once in a while you can walk up and just go, "There it is," and pull it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, when they're all alphabetized, that's.
Well, no, well,
Let's
yeah, I don't
see.
have the single.
Hey, there's "Take It Away." Yeah, this is the collectible one where it's got Fab Four on film as the B-side,
Oh.
not "I'm Happy Just to Dance."
Oh, I think I do have that actually.
Anyway,
Fancy.
it's Craig's turn.
It's my turn. There's a
And
couple that I
hope
asked.
this time you understand. It's my turn. Anyway, I
Uh-huh.
think that was 1980.
We can edit that out.
We never edit out fifth and
Yeah, we
Final.
don't edit here.
No, we don't know. It's gorgeous. So a couple that I didn't hear. I was gonna listen to it and then I forgot. Phoebe Cates had a single.
Of course she did. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, a song called Paradise. I did not know this, and I was, like I said, I was gonna go and listen to it, and then I completely forgot. But I'm like, so she apparently had an entire album, but
She
yeah.
should have come out with a song called "Pause and Rewind" because that's all anybody remembers.
That is,
Phoebe Cates for.
yeah, that is, everybody did that
She-
with her. Yes. Mhm.
She's still married to Kevin Kline. They've been married for 30 years.
Well, she's still married to him. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. Just the title was interesting. Fithin might know what this is, but I don't. David Frizzell. I'm gonna hire a wino to redecorate our home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Apparently, Lefty Frizzell.
One of my mom's favorite songs. I came crawling home last night, like many nights before. Finally made it to my feet when she opened up the door, and she said, "You're not gonna do this anymore." She said, "I'm gonna hire a wino to decorate our home, so you'll feel more at ease here, and you won't need to roam. We'll take out the dining room table, we'll
he
put a bar
knows it.
along that wall, and put a neon sign to point the way to our bathroom down the hall."
Oh boy.
Wow, look at you. Go ahead. Yeah, no, I did not know that, but I was
Did
gonna
you
listen
not
to it.
know that? That was on the radio every 15 minutes.
I know it now.
Wait a minute, what? This is not, that's a bottom?
No, I just said it was more the title. I didn't say it was
Oh.
necessarily at bottom. I told you I'd never heard it before.
Oh.
And I'm not necessarily saying that Phoebe is a bottom because I haven't heard it. It just was like Phoebe Cates had an album and a single. But this definitely is. This definitely, I mean, it probably is. Maybe David Frizzell is not, but Phoebe Cates probably is. Yeah, Chicago with Hard to Say I'm Sorry. I mean, that is definitely a bottom. And I'm sorry, I do not like Van Halen's version of Pretty Woman. So that's
Autumn.
Lover Boys Working for the Weekend. Don't care for that either.
God about that.
What the
I
hell?
do not like that. I mean, I don't ever get to have it weekend. Maybe I'm just
Yeah, if you want a piece of my heart, you got to start from the start. I mean, you don't come across lyrics like that every day.
Yeah,
That's some Bob Dylan shit. How can you not like with the cowbell starting it?
Yeah. I used to turn that up.
Right.
No, thank you.
Every time
No,
it came
I
on,
do
I would
not
It was like
like-
every
I wouldn't
radio
tell
station played that at Friday, on
Well,
Friday.
yeah, you're always hearing that. Maybe that's why I don't like it because and then it reminds me that I work on weekends. So I'm not working for the weekend. I'm working on the fucking weekend. So shut up, you asshole.
Yeah, well, maybe he's saying that you're working for the, you're work. I don't know what he would be saying that, but yeah.
No, he's not
That's a
saying
Bad
that.
thing is,
Okay.
they're probably playing it somewhere this evening
I
at a
apologize to
at a
Canada.
casino in Iowa.
Poor Craig.
Probably. And then the terrible moving pictures with What About Me? What about me? That song. Oh,
What about me? It isn't fair that you just take more than you give.
God, it's so not
What
good.
about me?
Wow,
God.
you sound just like him.
I
Like
know.
it's almost
People
good.
say I can't sing. I'm trying to sound like the original singer, and it's a bottom. So obviously the singer doesn't sound very good.
No good at
But you
all.
also do that with songs you like.
True. Sometimes he
No,
does.
not the Hiro Wino. I mean, that's
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah. All right, take it away, Richard. That's all I got for you.
All right. Well, my bottoms are really mostly disappointments. There's one that's a true bottom, I think, and I actually have, the freaking records, except one. The first one is a Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra. That was just
Song.
such a disappointment in the song Abracadabra.
I kind of liked it.
It's
I
just
love it.
I would have liked it. I'm with Richard. I would have liked it if it was from somebody else, but not Steve Miller.
Yeah.
Abracadabra.
You know-
I want to reach out and grab you. I mean, that's no. Although he did some weird rhymes though, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I can't remember a lot of from that album, but I just remember that it was on the radio a lot, and I just kind of thought, with all the other Steve Miller stuff, and I'm going like, Steve, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, but that was to be on me liking it. That was the first song I'd ever heard by them, though. I didn't know anything prior to that. So.
What happened was the 80s. That's what happened.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, but the 80s were the best. So
I bought this one because I really liked this guy's 1970s punk rock material. And that's Tom Robinson of the Tom Robinson Band. But in 1982, he came out with this album, North by Northwest. I played it once when I got it. I haven't played it since. It's just
the cover's lovely.
it's new wave pop. It's nothing like any of his early material. It's just I don't know. It just sounded so insincere. I bought this record because of one song that I like, but the rest of the album is, I should have bought the single. I should have listened to the whole album first, and then I would have just bought the single. And that's, Charlene. I've Never Been to Me. Terrible album.
Oh,
I like the song, but
the cover I had.
I've never seen that. I didn't know there was an album. I've heard the song.
I've never heard any
well,
other
you know,
song.
the first time I heard the song was from Priscilla.
Priscilla
And Queen of the Desert, and I like the song. It's not a great song. I just always liked it, and so I thought, well, it was only like a $5 album, but still, I should have just looked for the single and instead of buying the album. Now this is deception. This album was deception all the way through, and I even when you're reading it, you don't get what the deception is that's going on, and that's this album. It's Magic Sam, Magic Blues Genius. All right. Well, this isn't Magic Sam. He's not on here at all. It's some guy called Ron Thompson doing really bad covers of songs that Magic Sam played, but it's like, in the back, it has like a history of Magic Sam and everything. It's just total deception, though, because it's not Magic Sam. And some of these songs, I don't even think Magic Sam ever did. Maybe he did some of these, but this total deception. And when I looked it up in Discogs, that's what they were saying. Yeah, this album is a total deception.
That's weird.
So
that's like one of those like, hey, it's the hits of 1979.
Yeah.
Performed by King's Row.
Previously unreleased material. Well, yeah, because Magic Sam never fucking wrote it.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my bottom for 1982.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's not
On
good
Craigslist
stuff.
anyway. I'm working
Yeah.
for the weekend. I'm gonna hire a wino. I'm gonna have to hear that Phoebe Cates song. That's probably really good too.
Probably is, but like I said, I never heard it, so it could have
remember
been
when
like,
I worked at Blockbuster Video and we had Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We had to keep replacing it. It was the only movie where we had to keep because people would wear out the pool scene, rewinding and because these were older VCRs. It weren't I'm talking VHS, not DVD, and they would the tape would be all crinkled, and the next person would rent it wanting them titties. And they'd be lines through it. They're like, no, I rented that for the titties. I didn't rent it for lines. I don't care about, homeboy getting stuck in the bathroom and Judge Reinhold loses his job. I want to see Phoebe Cates on the pool, and that's where the lines are. So I need my money back. Yeah,
was a great scene though.
Doesn't anybody knock anymore?
Right? And that car song, what was that? Was that Walking in Stereo? Or what was the car song that
Moving
played?
Moving in Stereo. Yeah.
Great fucking scene.
What was that dumb song when Judge Reinhold? Because that was 82, right? What was the? We can
think
talk about that. Was a bottom two. That dumb song that was playing when Judge Reinhold is washing his car. It's like, I'm an all-American boy. I got my toy and I'm whatever. Yeah, it's dumb.
I've only seen the movie once, so.
Well, the thing about the movie, the music is the theatrical version, the video version, and the pay cable version are all different with the music. Because they're changing it around for copyright reasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I bet I've seen that movie 30 times. We saw it at least 5 times in the theater.
I've never watched that movie.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
We should do one of those. I wonder if we can do like one of those Amazon parties.
Oh, yeah.
Watch party?
We should do a watch party where we do like a music movie and we all watch it.
Okay.
And do a video.
Sure. Right.
So 1992 is what we shall be doing next.
1992.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's grunge. The beginning of the grunge becoming mainstream.
Ugh.
Everybody starts wearing flannel. You got. I guess it's a little early for. It's not boy bands. It's the beginning of like the R&B.
Yeah, that resurgence of R&B era, which I really didn't care for.
I'm all about the 70s R&B, not the 92 Babyface and.
That'll be a quick video.
Yeah. Well, the first part.
Yeah.
It's like the tops are a pamphlet and the bottoms are like an encyclopedia set. So yes, join us for that. Our tops and bottoms of 1992. Also coming up, we will review what will be current too. We'll talk about the album that is currently the most collected album of the year so far on Discogs, which is The Smile Wall of Eyes. We'll do the playlist battle. Mike has chosen his favorites from Concrete Blonde. That is all coming up and so much more. Oh, please, won't you join us? We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fitton along with...
Richard at Kelvin Wazoo.
Craig's Vinyl Plethora.
And Mike at Hub Tunes.
Talk to you again next time.
Woo!
Jesus Christ.
Was that?
What was that?
Confirmation from the world around you.
I guess that's...
Is that the storm?
Lightning just struck.
No, that did not sound like lightning, and we haven't had light. That's like a transformer blowing out or something.
Or
it's got an echo to it. What the hell was that?
Just ran into the house.
What's
You
that?
said there were tornadoes.
Or the dumpster ran into the house.
Yeah.
Not the dumpster, the dumpster.
That sounded like a shotgun.
Could have been a
blast
car
or something.
crashing into something.
Well, it just sounded like a blast. It didn't sound like a crash with the
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, like a flash of lightning struck the tree next to your
It
house
sounded
or
bigger
something.
than that. Did not sound like thunder. That sounded like an explosion.
Well, maybe we should end this video.
You go look while we get ready for the
Yeah.
next one.
Did we end this or did that interrupt us? I said talk to you again next time. Yeah, I remember.
Bye,
that.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.